Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is Phoenix 1987-20 here to bring you a public service announcement about Doom Eternal for Nintendo Switch. So Bethesda has came out and said, yes, the Nintendo Switch will be getting Doom Eternal. But then they followed it up with some bullcrap. And I'm not really happy fan about it because I've had this pre-ordered since probably the early 2019. It's going to go straight to digital. It's going to skip all the physical games and it's going to go straight to digital on the eShop. They have not announced a release date as of yet. So I thought about it. And I had to do some thinking here and I looked some stuff up. On the PS4, Doom Eternal, and this is not including the DLCs or nothing like that, is 50 gigabytes. And you're all probably saying, well, Nintendo Switch cartridges can't do that. But in 2020, Nintendo Switch or Nintendo released a 64 gigabyte cartridge. So 50 gigs Blu-ray for the PS4, 64 gigabyte cartridge for the Nintendo Switch. PS4 is definitely going to have more specs, more room, and going to use more gigabytes and file space just to be on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Nintendo Switch, they're going to dumb it down a lot. Still going to be playable like Doom 2016 was. But, so I started reading and I did more reading. The only reason they're doing that is because originally they were going to put it on the 16 gigabyte cartridge, and then they got frustrated because you'd have to download the rest of the game via eShop or online patch or whatever you want to call it. So they just opt to go with the digital only, which is fine. If you don't own a Nintendo Switch, it'd be fine on the PS4. But Nintendo Switch, we want those cartridges, so it takes up less room on our Switch. Switch caps out at 32. People are getting 126 gigabyte SD cards. People are jumping up to 256. You get my point? Some people have 400, 500, 1 terabytes. That's all cool and all, and that will let the game be digitally downloaded. But you're gonna piss off a percentage of your fans here that want the physical copy, that need the physical copy, because if the Nintendo eShop services ever go away and your Nintendo Switch dies, you're gonna lose that game you paid $80 Canadian for. You're gonna lose all that stuff. I don't know. Because it comes down to a business decision. If you put games out digital, you will make more for your buck. Your profit margin will be larger. Now, if you opt to get the 64 gigabyte cartridge, then you're going to be paying a little more for the cartridge. The developers are. So their profit margin is going to shrink a little. And we know business people, they want the biggest profit margins they can because, greed. And instead of saying, you know what, guys, we're going to keep the game at the same price. We're going to put it all on a cartridge for you because we know there's some collectors out there only collecting cartridges. And we know that there's, the other hand, people only buying digital games. Each their own. I ain't going to say buying digital is bad. It's actually economical friendly. Buying physical, I'm a physical guy. All my games, 90% of my games I have are physical, unless they came out with a download code inside the game, because Resident Evil 5 or 6 not available physical. It's only available download. That's cool. I paid for 4, I got 4. That's all I really wanted for. But how are fans going to react to that the love and hate? Is it Nintendo's fault? Is it Batista's ID software panic button's fault? Whose fault is it? Is it the consumer's fault that we have a system that only holds 32 gigabytes on it? Now, whose fault is it? I'm not going to point fingers at these guys or these guys or these guys or myself. But when I heard that, and then I went to EB Games and they said, unfortunately, sir, your Doom Eternal game pre-order has been canceled. I was like, Why? And then I was like, I know why. Because it's only going to digital. So, like I said, this is a public service announcement. They still haven't given us a release date, so we're probably looking at 2021, probably March, April, maybe May, maybe June, don't know. Until Panic Button says they're ready to drop this. I know that they did come out and say, you know what, we're almost there, we're almost at the end game. We had a little bit of difficulties with some technical things. The game's looking really well. ID Software is saying the game's looking amazing. So yes, do I want it? I want this for my Switch? Yes. But is this making me rethink Doom Eternal for my Switch and just say, you know what? I get a second console. I'm gonna pick it up for the PlayStation or my Xbox and avoid the Nintendo Switch because I don't want digital. Now again, each your own, each your own. So it's something for you Doom Eternal fans that want this for the Nintendo Switch. Are you gonna get it for the Switch now? That's digital only. Are you gonna say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna buy this for my second console and play it on there. At this point, it's gonna be $30, $40 Canadian versus the $80 Canadian for the Nintendo Switch. You're gonna get better graphics. And I'm not trying to knock Nintendo because the Switch is my favorite console to date. But it's something for y'all to think about. Digital for the Switch or physical for another console. That's all up to you guys. So until then, I hope you like my videos and share this with everybody around. Turn on that notification, smash that subscription, and drop me down a comment below. I love all your comments. I love reading them. I do respond to them as soon as I see them. But until next time, this is Phoenix 198720 saying good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Peace.